1580.
This is what I sound like after 5 years.
You back, kid?
Why do I feel I still
Let's
got
go.
Before 99, I was born again. 5 years later, and I'm on again. Man, I think I'm born to win. Me broke, that's an oxymoron. Forget a bus, I bought a drop to Toron. G4 is what I saw on. You thinking I ain't hot, you so wrong. Sorry for the prolong. But now life goes on. Long list of hits and it goes on. I wake up and I don't even feel like a star. And man, I'm getting $1 million a bar. Indeed, I need not take no lie. Man, y'all gon' make me cry. It's kinda eerie when you hear me. Your head stand up. Been a change your plan, rip your old plan up. Instead of hating, help me lift the big man up. Wake these people up and show them they keep dreaming. Breathe, stretch, shake, let it go. Breathe, stretch, shake, let it go. Wake these people up and show them they keep dreaming. Breathe, stretch, shake, let it go. Breathe,
Welcome
stretch,
in.
shake,
You know what it is. It's Wednesday, and you're locked in with Jill Munroe on KBLA Talk 1580. Gotta breathe, stretch, shake, and let it go. Shout out to Murder Mace. It's his birthday today. We got some more Virgo birthdays that I'm gonna get into because it's a whole lot today. A lot. But you are locked in with Jill Munroe on KBLA Talk 1580. Here to hit these entertainment topics, these headlines, the things that have been buzzing up and down your timeline to keep you informed and up to date. Listen, tonight we have so much to get into. First of all, it's all up in the Business Wednesdays. So we will be chatting with entrepreneur, business strategist, owner of Glow and Flow Beauty, Inglewood and Hawthorne, and Slay Hair, Damon Haley. So we'll be getting into some things with him. We're also tonight talking about Teyana Taylor turning a $70,000 fine in court into a flex. We'll get into those details. And Boosie, he announced a couple weeks ago that he was going to take a plea deal on this gun charge. He's tired of fighting the feds. So we'll get into what that looks like for him and the incident that got him into this hot water. Because, reminder, why are we still getting in situations like this? So we'll have those details. And Cam Newton is suiting up for debate season. He's taking a larger role in First Take, and we kind of know what led to this expanded role. We'll talk a little bit about that, and of course, you know, we always like talking branding, strategy, and such, so we'll get into that. And we have a Tupac story from Money B, you know, that is interesting. It's about the I Get Around video. And, you know, Jill's got receipts, so I'm going to fact check a couple of things, but that's what it is. Before we get into all of that, I told you there's a lot of birthdays today, so we're going to run them down, at least some of them, really quickly, right? So Mario, you know, Just a Friend, Let Me Love You. His catalog is still filled with certified classics. He turned 39 today. Savannah James, all hail Queen Savannah. It's her birthday. Mrs. LeBron keeps a fairly low profile, although you can check out her podcast, Everybody's Crazy. She has some other things bubbling. It's her birthday today, you know, but she stays serving luxury wife goals. Check out her new skincare line with 3 key signature products. And Keke Palmer turned 31 yesterday. We may have missed the official shout. 32, I believe. 32. I think it's 32. We may have missed the official shout out, but you know, Keke stays book busy and unbothered and is everywhere. So gag. And this isn't a birthday shout out. This is another conversation starter. Tamar Braxton always got a little bit of drama going on, right? And some are wondering if her latest kind of stunt is related to the incident that she had recently, saying that something happened and she woke up in a pool of blood and she had passed out and all of these things. She's releasing a new P. It's called Heartbreak Retrograde, and it's dropping September 19th. There's also a film with it, you know, that's coming along. All of these visual albums. Shout out to Beyonce, the originator of this. Actually, if you really want to talk, Michael Jackson. You know that's what I was going to say. We'll be bigging up the man himself on Friday, of course. But Mendici from Love and Hip Hop is featured in this. And, you know, there's been a lot of drama with him because his wife, Yandy, they're having infidelity problems that are spilling out. Both of them are cheating on each other. It's a mess. It's a mess. But he's in the video, right? And she's calling it her real-life heartbreak story. Kind of like Jennifer Lopez did with This Is Me Now. I believe that. No, that was the album back in the day. What was the film called that she just dropped a little while ago about her and Ben's relationship, and she had all the guest appearances in it? Feels like a little bit of inspiration from that, right? Which, again, all inspired from Beyonce, who was what? Inspired by Michael. It's a theme, baby. It's a trail. But shout out to her. But she's having some drama with Funky Dineva, who is in the video, but maybe didn't know because some people were blaming their friendship on the incident that happened with Tamar, because they're saying that there are activities that they might indulge in as friends that could leave Tamar in a bad state, and he's mad at Tamar because she didn't come out and clarify that this is not right. Listen, this is where we are in social media. Well, when we come forward, we're going to get into some other trending topics and headlines, the things that you want to know about, and me fact-checking about the I Get Around video. That's going to be fun. All of that and more on the other side. You're locked in with Jill Munroe on KBLA Talk 1580.
You're riding with Jill Munroe on KBLA Talk 1580.
This is a special alert to all Americans who own a vehicle with less than 200,000 miles with an auto warranty about to expire or with no warranty coverage at all. Due to a decline in the economy, CarShield is announcing a low-cost month-to-month vehicle protection plan that is now available to the public to save any driver out-of-pocket expenses on future auto repairs. Call now to find out how you can pay almost nothing for covered auto repairs. Yes, you heard that correctly. Pay almost nothing for covered auto repairs. An open phone line has been established for all drivers to call for a free quick quote. Call 800-297-1563 now. Drivers who are covered will not have to pay for covered repairs again. This protection plan is at an all-time low. Additionally, drivers who activate this vehicle protection today will also receive free roadside assistance, free towing, and car rental options at no additional cost. Call us for your free quick quote today. 800-297-1563. That's 800-297-1563. What do you have to lose? Call 800-297-1563. Again, 800-297-1563.
KBLA Talk 1580. We've got a lot to talk about.
Imagine a Los Angeles where everyone can thrive, where communities have access to the resources they need to succeed. That's the vision of Detours Mentoring Group, Inc. They're dedicated to improving life in LA County by providing educational support, employment assistance, and spaces for community engagement. By 2050, they want LA to be the best place to connect, create, learn, live, and play. They're working toward an education system that's well-resourced and culturally responsive, becoming a hub for artists and innovators, and making sure everyone has access to healthy food, quality healthcare, and safe housing. It's about building a future where we all have the chance to succeed. We invite you to learn more about their mission and get involved with Detours Mentoring Group, Inc. This is a community call to action from KBLA Talk 1580.
Are you ready to be a part of the conversation that will help shape our nation's future? Get ready to join us for the Left Coast Forum, Saturday, October 25th at LA Trade Tech, where progressive voices will come together to tackle the issues that matter most to working families across Los Angeles and beyond. From economic justice to climate action, from healthcare to housing, we're bringing together the brightest minds and most passionate advocates for real solutions and real change, with workshops workshops, 2 major keynote addresses, and a closing reception with great music and good food. It's the Left Coast Forum, where your voice matters and your ideas take action. Saturday, October 25th at LA Trade Tech. Brought to you by KBLA Talk 1580 and the LA Progressive. The future won't wait, and neither should you. Mark your calendar now to be there and be heard. Stay tuned to KBLA Talk 1580 for more details.
Now back to more entertainment news with Jill Munroe on KBLA Talk 1580.
Tell me what you want. 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 Tell me what you want from me. You're my MVP. Tonight I plan on rocking you to sleep. Put it deep. Baby, you know I'm a different type of freak.
Welcome back in.
Trying to do
Shout out to
me.
Teyana Taylor. We'll be talking about her in just a second. Listen, if at any point you want to join this conversation, you know how this gets down. 800-920-1580. You can also hit us up on social media. KBLA 1580. I, of course, am at Stiletto Jill. I'll let your girl say hi. Download the app. It's all new. It's fun. And, you know the YouTube chat is always amazing. Get up in the chat. Now, I mentioned that I'm not alone tonight breaking down these topics. We have with us entrepreneur, strategist, author. Damon Haley, owner of Glow and Flow Beauty, Inwood and Hawthorne, and Slay Hair. Welcome back, DH.
Hey, I forgot about the author part. Yeah.
Author.
Author.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, I done written
Yes,
something.
sir. You've written something. Dreams and hopes.
DH, baby.
Let's go. So, welcome back. How you been, DH?
I've been good. Feeling good. I done lost about 12 pounds over the last 2 months. So,
Okay.
Oh, yeah. Keeping it real sexy.
All right,
you know,
all right.
All that, and just keeping my mind right.
You know, Mr. International. Been
International.
all over.
Yeah.
Making sure that she's Mrs. Haley, but she's Miss Valentine.
Miss Valentine. Yeah, no.
Is.
We did China. I don't know if we talked about that, but
We did not.
We went to China.
Let's talk a little bit about that, because you guys are entrepreneurs, business owners, all types of things, tastemakers, really.
Well, yeah, I think everything comes from China. So our journey was to see how things are made. Paper goods, of course, our product, new product development, how they deal with materials. Of course, we're in the synthetic hair business, so we went to Japan, Tokyo, Kanekalon to break down, okay, what's really going on with this fiber. We want the best and finest fiber. We don't want the cheap stuff. Let's talk about the Consumer Report, all of that. So it was really enlightening. And I came back with a new lease on life that not enough of us do it. You know, we need to get into product. We need to have these relationships across different scopes, from Africa to Europe to Asia to South America. So it was a really, really good trip. We got a lot out of it.
And might I add, we know that was Slay Hair in my braids that I had in for 3 months. I got the front rebraided midway through. However, I just want to say that so easy when it came to removing them. So easy. Like, I didn't have like the little tangled up thing and all of that stuff. Really, 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 that was my first time getting my hair braided with Slay Hair. I've used it for ponytails, but first time I had like all braids, and I loved it.
That's good. I think that, you know, kudos to Miss Valentine, because she's really digging in and has made this a mission to build better scalps, better styling, better product, which now we see other competitors. We see them. Yeah. We see them biting.
I see them heavily,
biting heavily.
You know, down to the type of videos they're dropping, down to how they're marketing their product.
They're watching us, and we got word from. That's why we were able to get a meeting with a big company like Kaneka, which their hair fiber beauty company is Kanekalon. We were able to secure that meeting because they like what we're. The Japanese are different than the Koreans and the Chinese. The Japanese, I think, are a little more evolved. They're more scientific. So they were showing us new stuff. They were showing us stuff that aligned with our brand, with our mission. And we were showing them all the stuff that people are doing over here. And they gave us game on globally where they're going. So I think that but they still don't want to mess up. They still don't want to mess up their relationships with the Koreans.
Right.
And so they were very clear about that. So I said, if you're not going to be my friend in the United States, will you be my friend in Europe? So they had a better feel for being our friends in Europe versus in the United States, because you don't want to make people not buy fiber.
Interesting.
Whether it's cheap or we were buying the more expensive one, but most of the stuff, the cheaper goods, are just cheaper fiber.
Got it. Andy?
You know, Brother Damon, you being a businessman and, you know, you traveling to Asia, I got to ask, are the tariffs affecting you in any way, shape, or form?
Yeah, it's different parts of Asia, but from China, the tariff currently today is 37.5%. So that means that's a tax that the U.S. government puts on us, whoever imports, on goods, and that money goes directly to the U.S. government. It has nothing to do with the price that we pay or the freight that we carry, but it's 37.5%. I think most of Asia might be 20%. So when you hear tariffs, think about the government taxing goods coming into the United States. So it ranges anywhere from 20 to 37.5, and we got hit with a 145% tariff on one shipment, which I didn't like. But yeah, tariffs are affecting everybody.
I mean, business.
Hey, I'm in it to win it. So if you in it, you in it.
So you going there, would it have been, I mean, it's cheaper going there and purchasing there, right? And bringing it back, or are you still getting taxed by purchasing there and bringing the product back home to America?
Yeah, because we're talking about getting a cargo through customs. Now, if I go there and just, take an extra, piece of luggage, which I did, and brought back some stuff, that's different. But if you move in weight, so to speak, you still got to get it through customs, and that's where you pay the tariffs. And there's some trickery, some cooking of the books you can do, but still you're avoiding a 20 to 37.5% tax. Just like if you buy something at retail, you're going to get taxed anywhere from 9 to 11% sales tax. So that's what we're getting.
Whew,
But I will say this: the most surprising thing is I saw some Louis Vuitton being made where I was getting one of my future products made, and I was surprised to see it. There was actually Louis Vuitton, and then they didn't like that I saw that, and it's in another part that's locked, and the person that didn't do their quota gave it to another friend to finish the quota. That's why I saw it. So everything is made over there. I mean, it's just they got a system of doing things. They have people. They have a strategy to invigorate the economy by putting factories in the middle of nowhere along with dormitories. So that becomes people's lives, and it's a stepping stone.
Shout out to Pamela Thornton in the chat. She says, about Slay hair, the hair is great. I love the feel and silkiness to it. No itchy scalp. So.
Yeah, it's a different fiber. It's a different fiber, and that's what we're looking to continue to do. That's why the price point is a little higher. But now I understand, because Kanekalon, the company, had different competitors than ours. And so that's what we were talking about. And we were just saying, we don't want to compete on the price. It's like burgers, $1 burgers versus a $5 burger. It's just, you think it's better meat, or McNuggets versus real chicken.
Right.
You think, or I guess McNuggets are real chicken, I guess. But yeah, so thank you for the support, but know that we're conscious about the stuff that we put out there. And I think most of, if you have a moral compass about your people, you're going to do it more so than what you provide for people that ain't your people.
I know that's right. Okay, let's get into Teyana Taylor. Thank you for the update, DH, because, we don't get to hear a lot from people that are actually going over to Japan, Korea, where have you, and talking one-on-one with the vendors from that perspective. We always hear about what happens once it gets here and what our perceptions are that goes on in the factories, just based off of the things that we've heard for years, So I appreciate that up close and personal first-hand viewpoint. So we know that Teyana Taylor and Iman Shumpert have divorced. We know Teyana's released her new visual album, Escape Room. She's in a new relationship with actor Aaron Pierre. And, she says she just wants to get pounded out in peace. She literally said that. I'm not just throwing that out there, okay? She also added that $70,000 fine she got when speaking about what she deemed as inaccuracies that Iman and his team allegedly, she is alleging, paid people to do a smear campaign on her was the best little coin she's ever spent because, she has witnesses that have receipts showing that Iman's team orchestrated this smear campaign against her. She said that every time she released something or, put out a teaser for her album, 5 days later or the next day, these type of details dropped, that she was considered in contempt in court because she released some details surrounding the settlement of their divorce. She was very careful in how she framed things today, but she said the fact that people showed someone allegedly from Iman's team or he himself as having paid to do the smear campaign with blogs or what have you, that is not in what is considered gagged or sealed from their divorce settlement. But if you recall, they married in 2016. I believe that was the first year the Cavs won the NBA title. Iman was playing with the Cavs. The Cavs were kind of Hollywood then. There was a lot of high profile relationships in those stands, right? And they split in 2003, Teyana alleged, well, we heard from both, but that Iman was a little outside, outside, and that he was intimidated to a degree or insecure about her career. That was one of the reasons why she stopped making music during that relationship, because it impacted him, even though Iman, NBA player, also was making music and is now an actor. Hey, but sometimes that's how it goes, right? So, listen, she says sometimes silence costs more than speaking up. So that $70,000 she feels was well spent. There you go. Okay, so let's get into Boosie. We know Boosie's outspoken. Boosie's everywhere. Boosie has some controversial opinions, but Boosie is beloved, right? Well, on August 26th, that was yesterday, he pled guilty to one federal charge of felony possession of a firearm, right? The maximum penalty is 15 years. Prosecutors, however, are recommending 24 months. His sentencing is scheduled for November 21st, right? In his words, he said, "I'm tired of fighting." And, he has a new fiance. He has grandkids, kids, all this. I think he has a new baby. But this is the thing. The case stems from a 2023 arrest when he was in San Diego, where police caught him on Instagram Live holding a gun. They went to go and see what was up, and he had 2 firearms that were recovered, right? State charges were initially dismissed because they, whatever, they appealed it. But the feds picked it up. And although the lower court dismissal happened, it was then overturned. And that's why we're at where we're at as far as this plea deal. Once again, social media is not your friend. It is a tool. Common sense says, Boosie, you too old, especially at that time. He had not been out of jail that long, I feel like, at that point. This is just a reminder, right? A reminder. A reminder that what you put out on social media, even if you think nobody's watching, somebody's paying attention. So that's that.
And it's tricky to have the local officials or the local courts say, okay, it's cool, but the feds come in. That's kind of nitpicky, if you will. That's kind of nitpicky. So I think it's a bigger statement or awareness that, once again, you might be able to get by the state, but the feds don't have anything else to do but to get you.
To pursue you. Man, do you think that, when we hear about stuff like targeting rappers, is this the type of stuff you think about? Even though he put himself in that position.
Yeah, I'm not going to say targeting, but do they do their jobs a little more rigorously with high-profile people? Yes.
100%, yeah.
They make it easy.
They do. So listen, people stand by all the time and wait for their favorites to come back home. Juicy. Boosie has been through this before, so, prayers up. Shout out to him. He seems to have said that he's taking a different path, and that's part of why he was taking the plea deal. But I'm sure the 15 years had a little bit to do with that.
Oh, yeah.
Listen, when we come forward, we're talking Cam Newton leveling up on First Take. What that means as far as a business entity, when one person falls, it's next man up all the time. When we come forward, we'll get into all of that. News, traffic, and sports is up next.
Dealing with a chick that's never average, Tell me what you want from me, Baby, let me know.
You're in the know with Jill Munroe on KBLA Talk 1580.
I'm Amber Payton with BIN News Now. National Guard troops are in D.C., and President Trump says Chicago and California cities like Oakland could be next.
Donald Trump is just downright wrong about Oakland, like he's wrong about all the other cities that he trashed.
That's Black Oakland Mayor Barbara Lee. He's already ordered troops to Los Angeles, a move California is challenging in court with a hearing set for September. The NAACP is suing Texas over its new congressional map, claiming it discriminates against voters of color and violates the Voting Rights Act. The suit argues the maps dilute black voting power and were drawn with racial intent. It also criticizes lawmakers for rushing the process without enough public input, calling the move unconstitutional. In Black Chicago, Mayor Brandon Johnson has declared a disaster proclamation to help the city recover from the powerful storms and flooding that swept through between August 16th and 19th. Get BIN News Now on demand 24/7 on the iHeartRadio app.
In East LA on the 710 heading northbound before Whittier, a stall is blocking the left lane. The brake lights start at Atlantic Boulevard. And jumping to Palmdale on Sierra Highway northbound before Columbia Way, a crash is blocking both lanes, causing stopped traffic. For your alternate route, head over to 10th Street West to hop on the 14 instead.
Shop incredible end-of-summer savings at the Scandinavian Designs Labor Day sale. For a limited time, take up to 70% off select modern furniture and decor for every room in your home. Stop by one of our Los Angeles showrooms today or shop online at ScandinavianDesigns.com.
This is the KBLA Sports Minute with Ray Richardson.
22 players from HBCU schools will be on NFL rosters when the regular season kicks off next week. The 22 players survived the final cut on Tuesday when all 32 NFL teams were required to reach the 53-man roster limit. Two of the HBCU players made the Rams' final roster, wide receiver Xavier Smith of Florida A&M and cornerback Kobe Durant of South Carolina State. The highest draft pick this year from an HBCU school was Alabama A&M offensive lineman Carson Vincent. Vincent was a fourth-round pick of the Baltimore Ravens. Vincent made the Ravens' final roster. 3 players in the Ravens training camp who were not drafted in April made the team's final roster. Linebacker Jay Higgins from Iowa, safety Ruben Lowry of Tennessee Chattanooga, and cornerback Keon Martin from Louisiana University. No debates, no speculation, just the info you need. That's your KBLA Sports Minute. I'm Ray Richardson. More news, opinions, and conversation when we come forward on KBLA Talk 1580.
Hi, I'm Jesse Jackson Jr., inviting you to join me weekdays at 12 noon, right after Tavis Smiley, here on KBLA Talk 1580. As a law school graduate and a theologian with a firm grasp of our body politic given almost 2 decades in Congress, my show is the fresh new home of an authentic, uncompromised quest for transformation and salvation, both personal and collectively, as I vigorously interrogate the theological and symbolic meanings embedded in our society. I promise to leverage my knowledge of history, theology, and both international and domestic issues to imagine an inclusive vision for the future, which I hope will inspire all of us to pursue life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness as a given, not just an aspiration. So join me weekdays at 12 noon right after Tavis Smiley for 2 hours of the Jesse Jackson Jr. Show, only on KBLA Talk 1580.
You're still glowing, flirting, grooving. You've still got it. But your immune system weakens as you age, making it harder to fight flu, pneumococcal pneumonia, RSV, and COVID-19. Vaccines are a key part of any health routine, and help strengthen your immune response. Ask your doctor or pharmacist which vaccines you need. Schedule in minutes at vaxassist.com. Sponsored by Pfizer.
There's nothing like when you get that part from eBay and it just fits. Yeah, the first time. So you can do less of this and get right back to more of this. At eBay, you'll find all the parts you need, guaranteed to fit, at prices you'll love. Sounds good, doesn't it? eBay, things people love. Eligible items only. Exclusions apply.
KBLA Talk 1580. We've got a lot to talk about.
KBLA Talk 1580 is committed to self-care and community well-being. Walk Good LA was formed in June 2020, inspired by the Black Lives Matter movement and the beginning stages of the COVID-19 pandemic. What began as a few minutes of breath work and yoga meditation before protests against police brutality turned into a safe space for the community to heal in hard times. The immensely positive response from the community transformed the momentum into a movement. Today, Walk Good LA is a Black and brown-led community wellness organization based in Los Angeles. They provide spaces for healing through community yoga classes, guided meditations, hikes, run clubs, and other activations throughout Los Angeles that attract hundreds of members weekly. With the help of Propel and Michael B. Jordan, they now have a yoga and wellness studio in Los Angeles called the Walk Good Yard. To join their mailing list and connect with healing spaces, please visit walkgoodla.org. That's walkgoodla.org. Or find them on Instagram at walkgoodla. This is a community call to action, a community call to healing from KBLA Talk 1580.
You're listening to Jill Munroe on KBLA Talk 1580.
Oh yeah. I get around. Still clown when the underground when we come around. Stronger than ever. Back to get wrecked. All respect to those who break their neck to keep warriors in check. Cause what they sweat a brother majorly. And I don't know why your girl keeps paging me. She tell me that she needs me. Cries when she leaves me. And every time she sees me, she squeeze me. Lady, take it easy. Hate to sound sleazy, but tease me. I don't want it if it's that easy. Hey yo, bust it. Baby got a problem saying bye-bye. Just another hazard of a fly guy. Your ass wide don't matter. My pockets got fatter. Now everybody's looking for the ladder. And ain't no need in being greedy. If you wanna see me, try to keep a number, baby, when you need me. And I'll be there in a jiffy. Don't be picky, just be happy with this quickie. But when you learn, you can't time it down, baby doll. Check it out.
Welcome back in. You're locked in with Jill Munroe on KBLA Talk 1580. So this song dropped, well, the video for this dropped in 93. Came out in about June of 93. It was shot April 19th of 1993 in Calabasas/Malibu at a mansion. Yeah.
You was in the video?
We're going to talk about that in a second.
Oh! I got to watch the video now.
We'll chat about that in a second.
You knew too many details. I'm sorry.
I know a lot of details, yeah. So shout out to that. But, yeah, we're going to get into that. But first, let's talk a little Cam Newton. So, as we know, Cam Newton has his Funky Friday podcast. You know, he's been doing his thing in the media space, right? We have a bunch of athletes that have proliferated that space. Yeah. Got to slow down. Cam is one of them. He is slowly, rising in the rankings, right? And we've gone through different versions of this. I always forget the name of Brandon Marshall's podcast before they all fell apart. But I feel like we've talked about the start to this, like the Knuckleheads podcast, All the Smoke, et cetera, et cetera. We've seen all of the things rolling out. What is it? All of the Heights. That's Jason and Travis Kelce's podcast that, of course, is taken off. There's a number of others.
I Am Athlete.
Brandon Marshall's I Am Athlete. They were like one of the big dogs for a minute, and then they had their internal issues. Then we saw the pivot raise up, and Then we've seen like Gil's Arena running the ranks. We've seen former rappers, Cameron and Mace, take over. We have Nora with Drink Champs running, music industry stories, right? And a bunch others. Like, we can name them all. There's so many. What's the guy? Jeff Teague, his podcast. He's one of the stellar upcomers that a lot of people are talking about. And, but still, for some, as a side job, perhaps, being on network TV, maybe ESPN, maybe Fox, we got Amazon Prime now. We have Peacock. There's so many other places to be on, quotes, network television as far as the sports game goes. And there's a lot of dollars taking place there. So, we know that Shannon Sharpe was the number one guy in 2024, really before that, because he took over for Undisputed from Skip, arguably, I don't know why I can't talk tonight, but y'all just roll with it. I can speak. We rolling. So when the show first started, Skip was the bigger star. But as that went on, Shannon's personality took over. We saw him, with the goat mask and the persona came out with the Hennessy and all of the things. We saw a different side of Shannon Sharpe, who prior to that had been on CBS Sports, right? So I say all that to say we know that when Shannon was brought on to First Take, it was a big deal because he was running the podcast space. And the idea, whether they say it or not, is that he's going to bring some of his friends back to First Take. Not that First Take was, lacking for viewers. It is the number one sports show. That's just it. Stephen A. is going to talk his ish. They're not paying him all of that money because he's lagging, right? But we know what happened with Shannon. And we know that Cam was brought on kind of for the same reason. They kind of slotted him into HBCU week that they had for football because both Stephen A., Shannon, well, no, not Shannon. What is Georgia State? No, Shannon went to Georgia State. He didn't go to HBCU.
Savannah State.
He went to Savannah State. So he did go to HBCU.
He did.
Yeah, okay. And Cam, they all spent time at HBCUs, right? So now Shannon is up. Shannon is out and Cam is up, right? And good for his brand. We've seen all types of things. Shannon, I don't know why I keep saying Shannon when I mean Cam. Cam's unique fashion sense, I am not a fan. I'm just going to tell y'all, I am not a fan. But, it makes them stand out, right? And one thing that we do know in this era, you have to stand out a bit.
You do.
But I'm wondering, do you think that there will be an impact moving from, erasing kind of what Shannon started on First Take? Or does it even matter? Is it just next man up as far as that culturally?
Yeah, I think when you talk about ESPN, it's next man up. Because, Stephen A. has had a couple partners. So it is just next man up. It helps that it's football season. I think Cam is going to be very good with football because, one, he went to Florida, Auburn, number one pick that went to a Super Bowl, fell short, MVP. He is a quality.
And knows the game.
He is a quality football analyst, player, perspective, and gets respect as such. He's an Atlanta dude. So he's got that South thing on lock.
And younger.
And he's younger. He got that on lock. You're right. I think that his gear selection, his fashion is different and won't be duplicated by many. So I think that's cool. I think Shannon, he was more, at least from what I've seen of him, obviously dialed into the basketball with LeBron and all that kind of stuff. But I think for Cam, he's going to step in nicely. I like his Funky Fridays. I think he allows guests to breathe. He listens well. He seems to respond well. So, yeah, I think they're going to ride him, and they'll figure it out. And Stephen A., to his credit, he does a good job with co-hosts.
Yeah.
He really, really does a great job. He used to be a very mouthy, but now he's under maturity and experience. He does a good job with giving away some of the voice. So I think that Cam's excellent. I think that he's just next man or woman up, if you will. So I think that we won't forget about Shannon because he still does the nightcap and he still Shay and but not having that everyday morning stuff and access to athletes and say, hey, when he's in the morning, hey, you want to come on, you want to do, he's going to lose a little there from a booking standpoint, but Shannon still do his thing, and I think Cam's going to be pretty good.
Okay, Andy?
I think Cam is probably going to reach Shannon Sharpe levels.
Okay.
You know what I mean?
I can see it happening.
To me, he's kind of like a Shannon Sharpe Jr. in some ways. They're both from the South. He has that swagger. He has his own little lingo or whatnot. So I think people are definitely going to tap in. So I don't think it's going to be a problem.
Yeah, and Cam's used to big stages. I mean, Shannon was a great personality, but Cam is used to being that quarterback. Like, that's the number one thing in the United States. He gets it. He gonna play right. He gonna be all right. And I don't think he's upfront about his family and his co-creation stuff, and at least he takes care of them and all that. So he'll run into some different problems if they want to amplify his problems. But I think that, like I say, he's younger. He's gonna learn, and he's gonna be all right. I like him. I watch Funky Fridays depending on the guests.
Shout out to Cam. He's a Taurus. I like to throw that in whenever there's a Taurus.
Since we're talking about Stephen A., Cam Newton, First Take, do you guys know?
What?
It's a new show coming up.
I have no idea.
Monday, September 1st. Skip Bayless, Gilbert Arenas, Aqib Talib, Jay Gruden, The Arena, Gridiron on YouTube.
So I knew that that Gil was dropping a football show. I knew that was coming. Didn't know he was going to get Gil is another one. Listen, I'm not trying to advocate for people doing bad things or whatever. He proclaims his innocence. I'm going to ride with that until we see differently, right? I really respect Gil and how he's built his podcast, his YouTube channel, and the way he's expanding and how he's going and picking people. There were rumors that Joy Taylor might be joining him. I know she has something coming up that is already kind of solidified, and it's supposedly dropping at some point during NFL season. So we'll see. I thought it would be that, but she wasn't mentioned. So I'm curious to see the NFL arena. Andy?
That doesn't sound compelling.
You don't think so?
Well, let me just scratch that. Depending on who's behind it, who's financing it and all that.
Gil.
But Jay Gruden and Skip.
It's underground.
That Skip is a certain taste, and Jay Gruden is not a high-profile guy, And then Talib is okay, but he ain't like somebody who people know. So
true. But I think they're going for the rawness aspect.
It's very raw. It could be real, but but not with Skip, because Skip ain't a ball player. But Jay knows it. Talib is a former baller, but listening to that lineup, I'm just like, I gotta hear certain things before I watch it.
Yeah, I'm not gonna lie. I don't know about the whole Gilbert Arenas, Skip Bayless pairing. Yeah. It just doesn't. I don't know.
Excite you?
It doesn't excite me at all. I rock with Gilbert Arenas, but sometimes his takes, I just feel like.
I feel like he's a troll.
That's probably what it is. I don't take him real serious. Even on his appearances on First Take, when it felt like he was a little bit serious, I still didn't believe a lot of what he had to say.
I think he plays a lot.
Yeah, I'll say one thing. I haven't fired a lot of people. I haven't been fired or been tasked to fire a lot of people in my life, but Gilbert Arenas was one person I had to fire because he was just doing something that was
Kobe camp?
It was another person's camp.
Okay.
But it just was, we had to minimize his role because he's just different.
Oh, I said Kobe camp. Short. Never mind.
Yeah, he's just a different guy. I mean, I like Gilbert, Dad too. I mean, but he's just different. He's just different.
Nah, he ain't different. He's just a goofball. I don't know if you
that too. That's what I mean. But yeah, he is. But he's
self-proclaimed goofball.
Play too much.
Yeah, and he's not trying to do it. It's just always who Gilbert was, even in high school. Because Thad.
Yes,
he played for Thad. He's a local dude, Grant High, all that. I knew him since he was in high school.
That is someone that we worked with at Nike.
Yeah.
Just FYI.
It was
Shout out to Thad.
Yeah. So Thad's birthday today, actually. Talked to him earlier. But Gilbert is as a kid, he was just always like and I mean it's affectionate. He was just always a goofball, and he has been able to live his life cool as a goofball, and that's just what he is, and people love him for that. But
when we come forward, we will get into this Tupac story reflection, and Jill's got receipts, all that and more.
Are you ready for the hottest entertainment scoop in Los Angeles? She's bringing you exclusive interviews with today's biggest stars, behind-the-scenes Hollywood insights, and all the entertainment news you need to know. She's breaking down what's trending, what's ending, and what's just beginning in the world of entertainment. You're riding with Jill Munroe on KBLA Talk 1580.
If you're an African-American mom who is pregnant or have a baby under 6 months old, you deserve care that lifts, listens, and lasts. Black Infant Health is for you. It's a free program with individual support, group sessions, and resources to start your mothering journey. BIH makes space for moms and their families to create community. Learn more about the programs in Los Angeles County. Check us out at blackinfanthealth.org.
Thinking about going electric? Now is the perfect time. Electric vehicles cost less to run, don't need gas, and need fewer repairs than gas-powered cars. You can also save with federal and state tax credits, and in some areas, qualify for rebates on home charging stations. To learn more, visit www.breathesocal.org. That's www.breathesocal.org. JP Morgan Chase offers tips for the local business owners in 2025. Small business landscape is ever-changing, and the Los Angeles market is no exception. A startup or legacy business, revisiting your mission statement and recalibrating offerings can renew opportunities for growth and innovations. Programs like Chase for Business Coaching for Impact gives entrepreneurs access to expert guidance, helping you streamline operations, strategize your growth, and navigate complex challenges. Businesses with a clear sense of purpose can navigate any challenge effectively, but also build stronger customer loyalty. Visit chase.com/coaching for impact for more information. This segment is sponsored by JP Morgan Chase.
KBLA Talk 1580. We've got a lot to talk about.
KBLA Talk 1580, connecting you with services and solutions. LA County's new Justice Care and Opportunities Department, or JCOD, is here to support justice-involved individuals and their families. The JCOD Support Center is now taking calls at 1-833-LACJCOD. That's 1-833-522-5263. Available 7 days a week from 6 a.m. to 11 p.m., the Support Center is your one-stop shop for re-entry issues and court support. They offer court reminders, connections to local services, transportation assistance for housing, court appearances, and childcare. The JCOD hotline provides personalized help to connect you with services that you need. And don't forget to check out justiceconnect.org for more information. Remember, it's free and available every day at 1-833-522-5263. This is a community call to action from KBLA Talk 1580.
You're listening to Jill Munroe on KBLA Talk 1580.
Welcome back in. You're locked in with Jill Munroe on KBLA Talk 1580. So listen, Money B was recently on Sean Stockman of Boyz II Men's podcast On That Note, and he revealed some behind-the-scenes details, info about the I Get Around video shoot. You know, that is a lot of people's favorite video from Tupac. They feel like it was a grand old time. It's amazing, all of these things. I even saw someone in the comments of this video say that the girl who's featured that everybody knows, a lot of people at the time thought maybe she was Tupac's girlfriend because they didn't understand why she was covered up. She had on black, short haircut. She influenced a lot of people to get short haircuts. That's my BFF right there. Her name is Keisha. Shout out to her. But let's listen to what Money B says. And I got to say something about all of these podcast stories, because we just broke down about the athletes and the, musicians and all of these stories. Everybody's blowing up with podcasts. But the question that I have is everybody being honest? Is everybody trying to enhance their storytelling skills by, let's say, adding a few parsley sprinkles of conjecture onto the stories? I think so, but let's listen to this one.
That day was the funnest day of my life.
And I don't know why your girl keeps paging me.
Bro, we just had a pool party and a video broke out. That's really what it felt like.
Wow.
It's like we weren't even there to shoot the video. We just was there kicking it. And every once in a while, they'd be like, look at the camera.
I'll say a little fun fact too.
Uh-oh. Keep it clean.
No, it's clean. It's clean. It's clean. But I will say, some of the girls were in other videos.
Yeah.
So watching that video for the first time, me and the guys were like, oh, that's.
Yeah. You're like, yep.
Oh, that's.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Oh, yeah.
He's like, yeah. He's like, I remember her. Twice. So the funny thing about that is, so at the end of that night, we were all supposed to go out. And all the girls was like, where we going? We going party and kick it. And there was a couple of them was like, yeah, we want to hang with you. And so I was like, yeah, bro, it's, her and her. We about to do everything. And I was like, yeah, all right, we about to go. But we were staying in Hollywood at whatever hotel we were staying at. And we drinking all day. And I was like, all right, let me go. We going to change. And I told my brother, I was like, all right, we're going to meet back here. Da-da-da. I was like, all right, let me just lay down for a second.
The lay down for a second. We know what that means.
Like, you missed everything.
Woke up,
lay down for a second.
the next day, I was like, no.
All right, shout out to Money B, shout out to Tupac. So, receipt time. I told you guys I am in that video. I am. There it is right there. I'm in the video. But I've heard Money B talk about this day on different podcasts. I've heard one version where he was like, everybody was having sex in all of the bedrooms and it was wild and da-da-da-da. Never happened. He didn't say that here, right? But what he did say, well, the story that Sean Stockman shared, first of all, I know exactly the girls that they are referring to about. I don't know if there was cross with Money B, but I know the girls that Boyz II Men were. I know who they were from that video shoot. That's the story for another day. No, you would not know them. So there's that. But I do wonder, right? First of all, if you want my tea on the day, it did feel like a barbecue that there just happened to be a video shoot happening at. But the thing that's interesting when I hear him tell this story is that I remember a story from Tupac when we first arrived on set. They had been shooting earlier in the day, some of the interior scenes or whatever. Spoiler alert, the girl at the end that's in the jacuzzi with him with the big curly hair, she actually was kind of dating the owner of the house at that time. Random. She wasn't supposed to be in the video. She just ended up in the video and they set up that scene for her. But around the same time that this video dropped, Dr. Dre's video, I believe it was For Nothing But a G Thing, had came out a little while before. And if you recall, there was a scene that took place right here at Kennethon Park, right, with the girl in the bikini. And once again, that was another video shoot that felt like a party that just had some video cameras there, right? No, I wasn't there, but I had friends that were there. And I've heard them tell these stories time and time again. Probably you have too. But the thing that was real, not planned, not a setup, was they really embarrassed that girl and came and pulled her bikini top open and had her running around during there. It's blurred out in the video. You may not remember it. She was playing volleyball at Kennethon.
Oh, yeah.
So when we first got there, Tupac said, hey, this is nothing like the Dre and Snoop thing. We respect women here. You guys aren't going to be exposed to anybody being inappropriate with you or anything like that. So the flip side of that is to hear Money B act like it was some wild, everybody had a good time. It was partying. I think Afeni was there too at some point. It was a good time, but it was not as sexually charged, at least to my memory and the people that I was there with. Remember, all right? I can't speak for everybody, but from what I saw, it didn't feel like a threatening environment as sometimes video shoots could at that time. They kind of felt like at different times, kind of, like you didn't know what was going to happen. Not that it just could be uncomfortable because people were, a little disrespectful. They felt like they could touch the merchandise because you were merchandise. So, but so I just wanted to clear that up. I'm not disputing his memories of it. I'm just saying they might be a little fuzzy. Maybe he's combining some different days and different times, but from my recollection, it was a good time, but it wasn't sex-fueled, and Tupac even made it clear when we arrived it wasn't going down like that. It was nothing like that. So,
Well, I've been in the space of Digital Underground. During that time, I was in the Bay Area, so One of my best days ever was at the Hammer Pumps in the Pump video. And I tell Hammer that all the time. You know, best day of my life to date was at your house. But it was fun stuff. And I think that Digital Underground was about fun. I love Money B. I was able to hang out when I was in the Bay. When I would see him somewhere, I would hang because he was a fun guy. But I do think, you know, for the clicks, the likes, the shares, the follows, it always helps to say stuff was out of control.
Little extra.
Just a little extra, yeah. So shout out to, and Shock G, shout out to my man.
Rest in peace. We just celebrated his birthday the other day.
Yep.
All right, y'all. Damon Haley on Instagram. You can catch up with him. Thank you for locking in each and every Monday through Friday, 6 to 7 p.m. Coming up next, The Voice of Reason. I'll holler at you guys tomorrow. Appreciate you.
Saying you ain't impressed with the money you make. Guess it's true what they telling me. Fresh out of jail, life's hell for a black celebrity. So that's the reason why I call. And maybe you with it. Fantasies of a sweating, can I hit it? Addicted to the things you do, but still true. What I'm saying, boo, is this is all about you. Every other city we go, every other city, it's all about you. No matter where I go, I see it.
KBLA 1580 Santa Monica.
I'm Amber Payton with BIN News Now. Black New York City Mayor Eric Adams is responding after a fifth shooting in the Bronx in 2 days.
We're seeing gangs and young shooters and recidivism. That's a